We are so good, so in love, and you have said that I am everything to you, but we can't go back, and you have become the person I least want to face. Who doesn't love anyone anymore? Chapter 1. Wedge. You are listening at novelfull.audio. It's been a while since I've taken the early morning streets of Yancheng so seriously, sitting by the window and watching the bustling crowds, with the street lights still on and the sky slightly bright. Remember the last time we were together? Cheng Shouyan, how could you be so cruel? How could you just forget me like this? How can it be done? Clearly, you approached me first. Clearly, you first liked me and pursued me. It's clearly you. If it weren't for you, I should be very happy now, right? There are so many people in the world, how lucky I have one of us. I picked up my mobile phone, and just got through there, I snapped and scolded. Think about she. Are you sick? Why did you run back to the cold and quiet apartment again? Sister, I didn't serve you well. You want to go back to look for abuse. Li Xia, I am Cheng Shouyan's wife. He said, looking at the man lying on the bed, if it had been like this all the time. Are you with Cheng Shouyan? Exclaimed in shock over the phone. He got drunk, the bar called me, I lowered my head, like a child who had done something wrong. The other end of the phone never made any sound again. She should also feel my sadness. Li Xia, I'll come back when he wakes up. After speaking, hang up the phone. I received a call from the waiter at around 1 p.m. last night and haven't even squinted my eyes since then. It's strange to say that Li Xia never fell asleep, but on the contrary, she made a phone call and couldn't keep her eyes open anymore. Leaning against the windowsill, tightening the small blanket under my feet, I fell asleep. In my dream, I returned to college again, and this dream is destined to be sweet again. When I woke up, it was already past 11 o'clock. I looked at the person on the bed and didn't move. I approached and saw that there shouldn't be much left. I picked up the bag on the sofa, wrapped it in tight clothes, and went out. This place doesn't belong to me right now. If he wakes up and sees me, he will definitely feel very disappointed. It's better to leave early. It's already past 3 p.m. when I returned to my home in Li Xia, but I didn't expect that Li Xia didn't go to work. Li Xia, don't you go to work today? The person on the sofa put down their phone and turned to look at me for a long time. Gu Nianxi, divorced Cheng Shouyan. He forgot you, he forgot everything. I've been tired of hearing these words all these years. Turning around and walking towards the dormitory, Cheng Shouyan will remember. You don't have to worry. As he spoke, tears had already flowed to the corner of his mouth at some point. It's ridiculous to say, but I'm not sure either. As if unwilling, he added, do you know? He used to be cute to me. There was no sound coming from behind, and I felt a little relieved. I'm afraid she'll tell the truth and I'll be at a loss. Lying on the bed, recalling the little moments I had with Cheng Shouyan, how happy we used to be. If there were no accidents, we would definitely be very happy. My phone ran out of battery, I charged it and took my pajamas from bed into the bathroom. I didn't rest well last night, and my whole body was sore. I took a good shower to relax my tense mood, and accidentally fell asleep. Gu Nianxi. Gu Nianxi felt someone shaking me. I struggled to open my eyes and met the frightened eyes of Li Xia. Wow! What are you doing? I was so scared that I sat up, only to find that my body was still naked in the bathtub and suddenly lay down again. I scared you to death. I thought you couldn't think of anything. She sat down dejectedly on the side. Your phone kept ringing just now. I saw you hadn't answered for so long before coming in, and you fell asleep in the bathtub. I was really scared. She gave me a thumbs up and walked out of the bathroom. I hurriedly got up from the already cold water and put on my pajamas. I went back to the bedroom to pick up the phone from the head cabinet, and the two big characters "NN" appeared on the screen. I can't remember how long this name hasn't appeared on my phone screen, and my thoughts drifted far away. Chapter 2. You are listening at Novel Full. Audio. I got off the train, and the hot weather made me feel extremely uncomfortable. Looking at the train station, almost all my parents accompanied me to report. I was alone, dragging 2 large suitcases. If I had known that I had also asked my mother to come and see me off, it was still too naive. As soon as I got out of the car, the 4 big characters, Yanqing University, immediately caught my eye. I dragged 2 large suitcases clumsily into the campus, and the environment was really nice. Entering the gate, the trees on both sides almost blocked the sunlight on the avenue, which was a bit comfortable. There are many senior students on both sides of the avenue helping new students register. I silently crossed over them, genuinely dislike dealing with strangers. Find the dormitory, push open the door, and there are already 2 girls sitting inside. Retract your gaze and find a bed near the window, and start making the bed. The atmosphere suddenly became awkward, with no one talking, everyone busy with their own affairs. Suddenly, the door was opened and a girl with short red hair came in. Hello. My name is Huai'an. I am a native of Yanqing. I will take you to eat delicious food and drink spicy food in the future. She said and threw her backpack next door to me. Hey. What are your names? Everyone knows each other. We're going to stay together for 4 years. As she spoke, she had already picked up the blanket and made the bed. The girl in the bottom left corner said, Hello. My name is Li Yaoyu. From S City. The beautiful woman in the bottom right corner continued, Hello. I'm from Yaoqing. My name is Wang Mengyuan. After finishing, they lowered their heads and started busy with their own affairs. I thought it would end here, so I didn't introduce it. However, Huai'an threw a bag of potato chips over and said, What about you? I didn't really like eating potato chips, so she handed it back to her and said, Thank you. I don't like it. My name is Gun Yanxi. I'm also from Yaoqing. Are you also from Yaoqing? What a coincidence. Hometown. Wang Mengyuan stood up and stared at me. She is really beautiful. There is a feeling that can only be viewed from afar and not played with profanity. Very pure. Yeah. We can go home together in the future. I politely smiled at her. I said. You guys are really uncomfortable. In order to pull in our relationship, I made a decision. Tonight, I will treat you to dinner as a landlord. Huai'an jumped out of bed and placed her hand on Wang Mengyuan's shoulder. All right. Let's give her a good meal, Li Yaoyu said while eating potato chips. Then you guys go. I've arranged to have dinner with my friends tonight. Wang Mengyuan's face turned slightly red. No way. Beautiful women are beautiful women. You hooked up on them on the first day of school. Who? Bring them together. Sister treat. Huai'an hooked Wang Mengyuan's chin with one hand and smiled with a thief on her face. This girl seems to be really familiar from birth. I actually envy people like this. No. It's my high school classmate who also got into Yanqing University. So we just invited him to have a meal. Wang Mengyuan's face was already flushed to the point of being unable to resist. I can't bear to watch anymore. All right. Don't make things difficult for them either. Let's go eat. Next time, Mengyuan can come with us. I help to smooth the situation out. That's not possible. From 6 to 11, there's no shortage of people. Mengyuan can bring your friends to go together. Sister treat. By the way, I'll help you check. Sister sees people one by one. Huai'an picked up her phone and booked a hot pot private room. Okay. I'll give him a call. Wang Mengyuan took out her phone. Hey. Keep your word. Tonight, I'll treat my roommate to dinner. Otherwise, let's go together. Okay. I'll come find you later. She put away her phone. Okay, he agreed. But you guys go over later. I'll go find him. Okay, okay. Let's meet later. Ruan Lixia said goodbye to him. Wang Mengyuan blushed and walked out the door. I also packed up quickly. Ruan Lixia hugged my shoulder and said, I found you really don't like to talk. You need to change your habit. I smiled but didn't reply to her. When I arrived at the hot pot restaurant that Ruan Lixia had booked, I immediately saw Wang Mengyuan standing at the entrance. She was really beautiful. It gives people a very comfortable feeling, and I can't help but feel a bit dazed. Hey. Gu Nianqi. Are you obsessed with handsome guys? Stop looking. Even if you look at them, it's not yours. They belong to Wang Mengyuan. Ruan Lixia's voice pulled me out. I just saw the person next to Wang Mengyuan, about 185 centimeters, very thin, with facial features that seemed to be engraved on it. Two people really match up. No wonder beautiful women like Wang Mengyuan would take a liking to him. Hello. I'm Ruan Lixia. Mengyuan's roommate. Ruan Lixia had already gone up to welcome me. Hello. I'm Cheng Shouyan. Wang Mengyuan's high school classmate. After saying these words, Wang Mengyuan's expression clearly dimmed. Hello. Dream Yuan's roommate Li Yaoyu. Li Yaoyu still had a cool expression on his face. She doesn't seem to be in the same world as us. Hello. Gu Nianqi. Meng Yuan's roommate. I lowered my head and said. I don't know why I always involuntarily bow my head when talking to good-looking people. Maybe because I don't have much to do with looks. Oh. By the way. Shouyan, she's the same hometown as I told you. She's also from Yaocheng. Wang Mengyuan pointed at me with her hand on Cheng Shouyan's arm. Really? Where are you from Yaocheng? Cheng Shouyan put down Wang Mengyuan's hand and stared at me. I don't like being stared at all the time, so I quickly said, beginning of summer. Didn't you say you invited us to have hot pot? Aren't you going in yet? And walked inside. You were really impolite just now. Ruan Lixia pulled at me. Yeah. I know I was really impolite just now. Let's have a toast. Our friendship has come to an end. Ruan Lixia raised her glass and stood up. I don't know how to drink, I whispered as I pulled at her hem. You're already an adult. You can give it a try. Hurry up. Don't fuss. It seemed like I couldn't avoid it, so I picked up my glass obediently. The sound of 5 glasses colliding together was particularly pleasant, and I took a probing sip. Hey. Surprisingly not difficult to drink. Then we drank cup by cup like this, and we didn't even know when we would return to the dormitory. Sisters. It's time to wake up. I vaguely heard a voice. Open your eyes. Seeing Li Yaoyu helplessly shouting. Not right. Shouldn't I be on top? Why are you looking up now? I rubbed myself up and sat up. Good guy. Wang Mengyuan and Ruan Lixia are both lying by my side. What's going on? I looked at Li Yaoyu in surprise. Sister. Didn't you say you don't know how to drink? If you don't know how to drink, you should drink less. I understand Wang Mengyuan. Others have handsome guys to rely on. But what are you and Ruan Lixia? Ruan Lixia treated us to dinner. What happened? You got drunk. The money from Wang Mengyuan's boyfriend. You two want me to drag you back. I'm so embarrassed. This is the first time I heard Li Yaoyu say so much. But after speaking, my face also burned. That. I'm sorry. I really didn't know I would get drunk. I really don't remember anything either. Oh my. Why did I sleep on the ground? Ruan Lixia jumped up, seeing Li Yaoyu's dark face. With a grin on his face, he said, "Oh, sisters. You got it back for us three. You paid for me. How much?" "Sister transferred it to you." Then he picked up his mobile phone. "I also want to give money, right? But I have you on my left and her on my right. I really can't spare a third hand to pay. You should thank Wang Mengyuan well. Her boyfriend gave it." Li Yaoyu said with a dark face. "Thank you. Thank you. Mengyuan classmate. Next time. I will definitely invite you. Thank you to your boyfriend for me." Ruan Lixia took Wang Mengyuan's hand and nodded repeatedly. "It's okay." Wang Mengyuan blushed again. It seems that she is very happy. Chapter 3. Military Training. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Ding ding ding, ding ding ding. The bell rang on time. Get up. Everyone, remember to wear military uniforms on the first day of military training today. Li Yaoyu is already dressed and sitting in his seat eating bread. I slowly got up. For some reason, my whole body was lackluster. Wang Mengyuan applied sunscreen and said, "Xiaoxi, I heard you're in the same profession as Shouyan." I was stunned. Really? I didn't pay attention. In fact, on the day of our class meeting, I saw Cheng Shouyan in the same class as me, but I really don't know him well, so I didn't feel at ease. That's great. Everyone knows each other. You can take care of each other. And also help me block the peach blossom that keeps its promise. Wang Mengyuan sat next to me, hugging me and squeezing her eyes. I slowly got up. I don't know why I don't really like Wang Mengyuan. I don't know if it's because she's too beautiful, the reason why I feel inferior. Let's just take care of it. We're not particularly familiar. But I know we can share some news about him with you. I stood up and tidied up my clothes. I knew you were the best. Wang Mengyuan took my hand and walked outside the door. If you don't leave again, you will be late. On the playground, our department is on the same playground as Wang Mengyuan and her department. And Ruan Lixia and Li Yaoyu are in another place. I saw our classmates from afar, said goodbye to Wang Mengyuan briefly, and then returned to the class. The morning military training ended quickly, and I didn't make an appointment with Wang Mengyuan during lunch because I didn't really like her. But Lixia and Xiaoyu are too far away. After military training, I was so tired that I didn't want to walk any further, so I went to the cafeteria alone to search for food. In fact, I am a foodie, but as someone with an average appearance, I have to control my diet, so my appearance and physique are not bad either. So I bought a 1 meat and 2 vegetable dish on the first floor of the cafeteria and started eating it. Hey! Are you that roommate of Mengyuan? So destined. We're in the same class. I know who he is without looking up. Hello. My name is Gun Yanxi. It's Mengyuan's roommate answered his question with a wooden tone. I didn't expect him to sit down straight and say, "Do you mind eating together? The whole class knows you. Let's get together." He didn't even look up and said, for a moment I didn't know how to answer. Just don't answer. Has someone ever said that you can be really impolite at times? You've ignored my questions twice in a row. This sentence was light and easy, although the words were blaming, the tone had no intention of blaming at all. I suddenly felt a little embarrassed. I'm sorry. I just don't know how to answer. I'm full. You eat slowly. I'll leave first. As I spoke, I picked up the plate and left my seat. Actually, I haven't had enough to eat yet. The physical exertion of military training is so great that I haven't replenished it well. Oh my goodness. After coming out of the cafeteria, I had nowhere to go. So I sat down next to the flower bed in our team, feeling drowsy as someone kicked me. The voice came from above, hey. I heard you're Cheng Shouyan's girlfriend. I was confused. What is this and what is it? Before I could answer, a girl burst into laughter and said, forget it, I think we must have misunderstood something. Do you think Cheng Shouyan would like her? Even the dumbest person knows what this sentence means. My face turned red, and I didn't know which tendon was wrong. She yelled back, even if Cheng Shouyan looks down on me, he won't like you. At least Cheng Shouyan took the initiative to eat with me. Did he eat with you? The girl standing in front of her face changed instantly. Raise your hand, even a fool knows she's going to take action. I raised my hand to block her hand and said, if you like others, go after them. Why bully an outsider here? Papa papa papa, a burst of applause rang out, well said. You have also eaten the courage of the bear heart leopard. How dare even my sisters bully Ruan Lixia? Depend on the number of people, right? More than friends, I haven't lost Ruan Lixia. Immediately came to stand beside me. Those three people just got bored and dispersed. I sat down again, pointing to the position next to me and gesturing for Lixia to sit down. Actually, I quite like Lixia, maybe because her personality is completely opposite to mine, but it is what I long for, so I like her. It seems that you won't be bullied either. Today, I was telling Xiaoyu and Mengyuan that you are the easiest person to be bullied among us. Ruan Lixia leaned her head on my shoulder. Squint your eyes and lie asleep. How did you come? I answered off topic. You see, you always like to avoid problems. Let me see what you've been tortured by military training like. Alright. What's tiring about military training? I also leaned my head on Lixia's head. Just now I heard those girls say you're Cheng Shouyan's girlfriend, what's going on? Don't cause me dormitory conflicts right after school starts. Lixia asked with a smile. Everyone knows that Cheng Shouyan doesn't like me. Not to mention Wang Mengyuan. Don't worry. In the next few days, all the time went by step, although tired, it was also fulfilling, and I slept soundly. After 2 o'clock in the afternoon, under the scorching sun, our team was practicing standing posture. Suddenly, my eyes turned black and I heard someone shouting, report. Instructor, someone has fainted and I lost consciousness. When I woke up again, I was already lying in the infirmary. Looking back for a moment, the more I think about it, the more embarrassing it becomes. I couldn't help but sigh. Hey! The little girl is awake. Is there anything else that's uncomfortable? The doctor walked in and touched my head. Thank you. There's nothing uncomfortable anymore. That's good. You're just a little low blood sugar. I'll make a list for you, don't go to the military training in a few days. Rest well in the dormitory. The doctor said as he handed me a list. Okay. Thank you, took the order and thought about it. You don't need to train anymore. The fainting didn't come in vain. It's strange to say that fainting on the ground is not just a matter of bruises and bleeding, but also a matter of touching bruises and bruises, right? I have nothing to do. What a blessing from heaven. Back in the dormitory, everyone hasn't come back yet. Just climb onto the bed and have a good night's sleep. She, are you okay? The door was forcefully pushed open, and I was able to wake up in an instant. You're famous. The whole school is spreading. The incident of you fainting. Lixia shouted at the top of her throat. I know now. Please don't say anything. Good things don't go out, bad things spread thousands of miles. I gave Lixia a white glance. So, tell me honestly, what's your relationship with Cheng Shouyan? It's impossible that we had a hot pot together and broke our hands just for you, right? Lixia rubbed her chin and looked at me curiously. What are you saying? What was it because I broke my hand? What and what? I was confused. It's all spread out, and while you fainted, Cheng Shouyan passed through 2 classmates from your right rear and caught you. As a result, your hand was hard-pressed and fractured by you. Otherwise, you thought you would be fine here if you fell. Is this not painful or that not painful? Li Xia said this more like she was fighting for justice. Why did he save me for no reason? Where is he now? There were indeed many doubts in my heart. How do I know? I'm at the orthopedic hospital now. Wang Mengyuan is with me. You're ready to accept the bombardment. Since Mengyuan found out that he broke his hand for you, her face has been so ugly. Lying in bed, unable to sleep anymore, I decided to pick up my phone and watch a video. The phone kept playing a video repeatedly, and my thoughts had already flown away. Why is it that Li Xia kept saying repeatedly in his mind, Cheng Shouyan broke his hand to save you? Why did he save me? He broke his hand for me, do I need to go see him? So how did Wang Mengyuan explain it? I have nothing to do with Cheng Shouyan. The more you think, the bigger your head becomes. Why not pack up your emotions and get up? Beginning of summer, let's go eat. I picked up my backpack and tugged at her hat. My treat. Hurry up. After this village, there won't be this shop anymore. I said as I walked outside the door. Wait for me. Ruan Lixia ran up and placed her hand on my shoulder. I found that you are quite heartless. At least they are lying in the hospital for you. The first thing you do is go eat. Bull. But sister likes it. I smiled but didn't say a word. I can't do anything now. First of all, is Wang Mengyuan in the hospital? Isn't it just asking for trouble when I go? And, I really don't know how to face him anymore. It's better to go eat and let go of these annoying things. So many orders. Are you crazy? How come I didn't see you eating so well before? Li Xia opened her mouth wide. Hurry up. Sister has always had a big appetite. She ate her food in big gulps and finally felt a little better. Gu Nianxi. Shouyan is like that. Do you still have the mood to eat here? I don't know when Wang Mengyuan stood next to me with a condescending look on her face. Who hates to look down on me the most in my life? I also stood up. Wang Mengyuan, first of all, I am very grateful to your family Cheng Shouyan for saving me. But I know you were with him in the hospital, and when I went, it was even more troublesome for you. That's why I didn't go to the hospital. As for why I was eating. That's because I am human, and everyone has to eat. Is there any problem? Perhaps Wang Mengyuan didn't expect me to suddenly talk to her like this. A hint of panic flashed through her eyes. Li Xia quickly pulled Wang Mengyuan down and gestured for me to sit down too. I said, we've only been in school for a few days now. There's no need to end up like this for a man. Besides, Mengyuan, if you don't think about it, Cheng Shouyan didn't even know she before. So saving she is entirely for your face, right? After Li Xia finished speaking, Wang Mengyuan's face improved a bit. I was quite excited because of keeping my promise just now. I didn't consider many things. I'm sorry. It was also because of me. Then I'll go to the hospital first. You guys keep eating. She said and left. I'm not in the mood to eat either. Feeling flustered in my heart. Li Xia put down her chopsticks and said, do you need my sister to accompany you to get drunk? Forget it. Are our alcohol tolerance trying to find trouble for Li Yaoyu? With their eyes aligned, they burst out laughing together. Yeah. Just smile, stop thinking about these annoying things. Just a place in my heart that seems to have been worrying about someone. Chapter 4. He says he likes me. You are listening at novelfull.audio. I only know what happiness is after going to college. No need to wake up early and recite for self-study anymore. It's common to wake up naturally after sleeping. These days, it has been much quieter. Wang Mengyuan only goes to class during the day to accompany Cheng Shouyan. Li Yaoyu spends all day in the club, but on the contrary, Wan Lixia often follows me. Touch. The dormitory door was forcefully pushed open. Oh my ancestors. Hurry up and come down to eat. I'm so hot. A fragrance rushed in. It's my favorite spicy hot pot, that's right. Get up and get out of bed quickly. Beginning of summer. I think you're the roundworm in my stomach. Really. I love you so much. Without lifting my head, I quickly opened the lid and started eating. With Li Xia eating hard, the dormitory door was opened again. Wang Mengyuan's eyes were red, tears hanging on her cheeks, her backpack dragged to the ground, and she walked in weakly. I looked at Li Xia and found that she was also looking at me in confusion. Anyway, I'll be this cannon fodder. Mengyuan. What's wrong with you? Have you eaten yet? Why don't you come over and have some? I walked over to her and picked up the bag on the ground. Good guy. She dragged the white bag into a black bag. Gu Nianqi. Are you doing it on purpose? Are you laughing at me? You look ignorant. Stop acting. That's really enough. She said, tears streaming down like a flood, big and big. I didn't think much about what she said when I saw this scene, it just made my protective desire instantly rise. Perhaps beautiful women can easily arouse my desire for protection. Alright. Alright. Mengyuan, stop crying. Let's talk about it carefully. I said while giving a wink to Li Xia sitting next to me watching the play. Yeah. Mengyuan. Don't cry. Others think Sisi is bullying you like you. Li Xia also walked over and handed a tissue to Wang Mengyuan. Yeah. I was just bullied by Gu Nianqi. I was bullied by her and Cheng Shouyan together. Suddenly, Wang Mengyuan stopped crying and turned to look at me. Gu Nianqi. You said you looked like this. How did he look at you? What kind of dirty trick did you use to make him fall in love with you? You, a woman, can only rely on being cheap. Pa instantly felt a burning pain in her hands, not to mention Wang Mengyuan's snow-white and delicate face. Wang Mengyuan. I don't know what happened to you. I'm not as pretty as you are. But what if you're pretty? Your mouth smells so bad, no wonder Cheng Shouyan doesn't want you. After speaking, the two of them, who had a frightened expression on their faces, turned around and left. Everything is really not going smoothly. Kind-hearted people are treated like donkey liver and lungs. I have never been so angry before, nor have I ever slapped anyone. In just a few minutes today, I did everything. This Wang Mengyuan is really amazing. Gu Nianqi. What are you thinking? A deep voice suddenly rang in my ear. This voice always feels a bit familiar. Looking up, it turned out to be Cheng Shouyan. Just now, Wang Mengyuan's words suddenly surfaced. What kind of vulgar trick did you use to make him like you? I was indeed curious. I've only met a few times before, why do you like me? Do you have time? Go have a cup of milk tea. Anyway, you still need to figure it out. Okay. Go to the school gate. Cheng Shouyan suggested. The school gate is crowded with people, I don't want to be so ostentatious. Let's go to the one on Yulin Street. It tastes better. There's no one left for this reason. I don't even believe it when I say it. Sitting by the window, Cheng Shouyan's slender fingers across from him occasionally tapped on the table. At this moment, my heart is extremely nervous. I don't even know how to speak. You're not just looking for me for a cup of milk tea, are you? Cheng Shouyan broke the awkward situation. Yes. I mainly want to ask why Mengyuan came back crying today. I admit I was hesitant. Just now, I was about to loudly question him why he said those things to Wang Mengyuan. What's the intention? I found out that I couldn't speak clearly, let alone say those words. Are you not thanking me for saving you? But for someone else to invite me. His voice was deep and he couldn't hear any emotions. Of course. First of all, thank you for saving me. Secondly, I want to ask what exactly did you say to Wang Menyuan? She lowered her head, completely afraid to look into his eyes. You really don't know me anymore. I could feel him staring at me. I dare not look up. Are you Wang Menyuan's friend? I said softly. It seems like I don't remember. His voice cooled a few times. Wang Menyuan likes me and has been circling around me since her sophomore year. Before, she didn't confess her feelings, so I treated her as a friend. I didn't expect to be admitted to Yenching University together. On the first day, she said to treat me to a meal, and I thought it would be embarrassing to have a meal alone. I didn't expect her to suddenly say that you were also coming, so I naturally welcomed her very much. So, until the day you fainted, I broke my arm. She has been taking care of me in the hospital. At first, I was very embarrassed and afraid that others would misunderstand, but she said, Yencheng is the only one where we are. My fellow townsmen, take care of yourself. I can't say anything anymore. This morning, she suddenly said she likes me. She wants to be my girlfriend. I didn't like her, so I just rejected her. I'm still digesting what he just said. Suddenly, he stood up and leaned over, whispering, because I like you. I've liked you for a whole 10 years. My face quickly burned. I can guarantee that my face is already red and not decent now. My head is blank. So I was confessed by Cheng Shouyan. Chapter 5, It Turns Out to Be You. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Since being confessed by Cheng Shouyan that day, I've been in a daze all day. The most important thing is that I can't figure out how he would like someone as ordinary as me. He is a famous handsome guy in our department. There are countless beauties chasing after him. So when I told Ruan Lixia this news, she thought I was crazy. Always comforting me by saying, Menyuan only said those words that hurt you on impulse. But you don't really need to listen, do you? You need to have a good mindset. Life is beautiful, brainwashing me every day. So much so that I almost forgot whether Cheng Shouyan said the last sentence that day. Or is it really my imagination? Don't care about him. Eat, drink. What's the big deal? Just a strange atmosphere spreading in our dormitory. Wang Menyuan basically doesn't come back except for sleeping in the dormitory at night. Li Yaoyu was originally the little transparent of our dormitory. Strangely, Ruan Lixia has also been absent from the dormitory frequently lately, and I feel like the dormitory is almost on my own. Actually, it's quite boring. After having dinner in the cafeteria and having nothing to do, I decided to stroll around the school. Various small flowers were planted on both sides of the small road, and a few young couples sat on the lawn. Sometimes, I really want to have a romantic relationship. Don't be grand, just plain and simple. But my appearance may be hanging. Sitting on the lawn, I took out my headphones and played a song. Two familiar figures appeared in front of me. They seemed very happy, eating a bag of potato chips together. The beautiful girl said something that made the people next to me laugh. Ruan Lixia and Wang Menyuan. When did they get so close? Ruan Lixia has been telling herself that she has been quite busy lately and has invited several times to eat together but has been rejected. But now she's sitting with Wang Menyuan. The indescribable taste in my heart. Pick up your phone and run away. Walking to the entrance of the dormitory, I saw a huge bouquet of roses standing at the door. The dormitory door is tightly closed. It definitely won't be mine, just move it aside and open the door. Which one of you has flowers? At the door. Li Yaoyu said while eating potato chips and watching the drama without looking up. Ah. I don't know who moved it to the side. Feeling unhappy, why not climb into bed and go to bed? I heard everyone chattering in a daze. Open the mosquito net, there are many people piled up at the door. Wang Mengyuan is struggling to move the flowers into the dormitory. The familiar tone of, "What are you looking at? Haven't you seen a beautiful woman collecting flowers," next to Li Xia, who was coaxing the onlookers, also stood out for me before. My heart is even more uncomfortable. Simply pull up the mosquito net and continue sleeping. Wang Mengyuan. How ostentatious is she? Are admirers so wealthy? Li Yaoyu stood up to admire the flowers. Isn't it? We Mengyuan are so beautiful, there will be fewer admirers. Li Xia placed her hand on Wang Mengyuan's shoulder. My heart seems to have been stabbed by something. What's the use of it? It's not his, I don't care who gave it to me. Wang Mengyuan's voice was weak. Anyone who listens will feel heartbroken. Alright, alright. Don't be unhappy anymore, let's go. Let's go eat. Yao Yu, are you going? Li Xia seemed to have no idea that I was in the dormitory. But my shoes and bag are all underneath, how could she not know? Let's go. I'm quite hungry anyway. Cici, are you going? Li Yaoyu patted my bed. At this moment, I dare not make any sound anymore. I'm afraid that if I make a sound, I won't be able to hold my tension anymore. Let's go. Maybe she's asleep. Touch. The dormitory door closed. I slowly got out of bed and sat at the desk. Tears flowing uncontrollably. I thought Li Xia and I were the best. But that's what I thought. Day after day passed like this. Li Xia and Mengyuan seemed to be glued together, spending all day in pairs. I occasionally go shopping and eat with Li Yaoyu. At other times, I was basically alone, and Cheng Shouyan didn't come to see me either. Sleeping until after 3 p.m., feeling chaotic, getting out of bed, washing my face, and preparing to go to the library to read a book. I vaguely heard a faint moan coming from the next bed. Opening Wan Lixia's mosquito net, she curled up in a ball, with a lot of sweat on her forehead and a fierce expression. Li Xia. What's wrong with you? I patted her shoulder. She lifted her head and slowly spat out a few words, "Take me to the hospital." I didn't care too much, picked up the clothes on the table, helped her out. At the entrance, the taxis that came and went were all carrying passengers. Feeling their pockets, they were empty. Good guy. I went out in a hurry, didn't bring my phone, and didn't bring any money. Looking at Li Xia, whose face had turned pale next to him, mind him, squat down and carry his back. In one go. Hey. That. Actually doesn't need to be memorized, I can walk. The tone felt a lot distant. It's okay, carry it on your back. I won't say much anymore. The top priority now is to take her to the hospital. I don't know how far I've walked, my sweat has already soaked my clothes. People are almost exhausted. Gu Nianxi. What are you doing? The familiar voice rang out again. This time, I didn't feel scared, but at this moment, the familiar voice sounded out of favor. Cheng Shouyan. Hurry up. Help me. Take Li Xia to the hospital. I'm going to die. I feel like everything is spinning around. After speaking, Cheng Shouyan took a step and supported Li Xia, whom I had let down. What will you do? Your complexion is also very bad. You can feel the heartache in his eyes. It's okay. I'm just a little tired. Just take a break. You guys go first. Go to the city hospital, I'll take a break and I'll be there. After speaking, he sat down on the spot regardless of his appearance. Watching them stay for a while, I raised my voice in a hurry and said, Cheng Shouyan. Let's go. Can't I take a break for a while? Okay, okay. Then wait for me. I'll take her to the hospital to pick you up. After speaking, before I could answer, he carried Ruan Lixia and disappeared into my eyes. After a while, I felt my breathing was normal and dragged my tired body towards the hospital. As soon as I arrived at the gate, I saw Cheng Shouyan panting heavily and sweating profusely. "Are you okay? Didn't I ask you to wait for me in place? Is Lixia okay?" I stared at him. "The doctor is checking. Are you okay?" The man in front of him, his deep eyes filled with worry. "Cheng Shouyan. Wait a moment. Let's have a good discussion later." "Okay." His tone was particularly firm. "It seems like something has suddenly been decided." I walked sideways towards the hospital when my arm was suddenly lifted and I instinctively wanted to pull out my hand, but it was pulled even tighter. "Don't show off. Your complexion is very bad." Cheng Shouyan didn't even look at me. Arriving at the emergency room, the doctor happened to come out. "Who are the family members of Ruan Lixia?" I'm her friend." "Oh. That Ruan Lixia has sudden acute appendicitis. Now I'm hanging the liquid and treating the inflammation first. Then you can contact her family to sign a letter and have the surgery done." The doctor said and left. Ruan Lixia was pushed out by the nurse. "Ruan Lixia's family. Go to the emergency department to pay the fee. I have processed the admission process, and now I will push her to the inpatient department first." "No. I don't want to be hospitalized. Once the inflammation subsides without pain, I can leave. Ruan Lixia's already small face now has no blood at all. Anyone who reads it will become protective. Lixia, you should still follow the doctor's advice. After the appendix is removed, it won't hurt anymore," I advised. "Also, give me your uncle and aunt's phone number, and I'll make a call for you. He needs a family member's signature," I said as I took out my phone. "They won't care about me. They're not in Yanqing either," Ruan Lixia said softly. "I seem to understand something. I'll go see the doctor later and see if you can sign it yourself, or if I can sign it. Don't worry about the cost. We can pool it together and it will be enough. If it's not possible, I'll ask my mom for some." Before I could finish speaking, Ruan Lixia whispered, "I'm sorry. Cici." I was stunned for a moment. "Are you a fool? Why are you sorry? You go first. I'll pay." After saying that, I turned around and walked towards the emergency room. Tears flowed down again in frustration. Gu Nianxi. I may not be able to help with anything else, but I can help with the cost. Cheng Shouyan handed me a card after speaking. "The password is your birthday." I'm shocked. Staring at the man in front of me with wide eyes, I exclaimed in surprise, "How do you know my birthday? How could you use my birthday as a password?" I was so surprised that I didn't know how to speak. "We'll talk about this later. You go pay the fee first. Ruan Lixia is still waiting." "No way. We can't use your money. Cheng Shouyan made our dormitory look like this. I really don't want to have any further involvement with him. It's okay if you go borrow it now, or whatever. You can wait. I can wait. Ruan Lixia can't wait." His thoughts were clear and he spoke clearly. "Thank you then. I'll give it back to you later. Bring Cheng Shouyan's card to the window to apply for admission and pay 10,000 yuan in advance." Turning to look at Cheng Shouyan. He nodded. "Hand the card to the cashier." "Hello. Please enter the password." My heart trembled as I entered, 950728. Payment successful. Thousands of thoughts crawled into my heart. It seems that we really need to have a good chat with Cheng Shouyan. "Thank you. You're waiting for me at the coffee shop back there. I'll go see Lixia and come find you." After speaking, before he could answer, I ran away. Perhaps I'm afraid. Now outside the ward. I dare not enter for a long time. Beginning of summer is also a problem. Take a deep breath, open the door, get in. Beginning of summer. The fee has already been paid. However, it was given by Cheng Shouyan. When we have saved enough, we will give it back to him. You can rest assured and have the surgery done first. I didn't even glance at her and sat on the sofa next to her bed. She. To be honest, what is your relationship with Cheng Shouyan? Huai'an asked me seriously. It's something I've never seen before. To be honest. I also have many question marks. I don't know him. But all the signs indicate that I may know him. The answer was vague. I really like you. I also really want to be your best friend. But I really dislike people who use special means to snatch someone else's boyfriend. She seemed to be saying it to herself, and when her voice was low, I thought I had heard it wrong. No. Huai'an. What do you mean? When did I use special means to snatch someone else's boyfriend? I was confused. Wang Menyuan has already told me, didn't you stay up all night in the dormitory last time? Did you go find Cheng Shouyan? Every word and sentence pierced my heart like a needle. Beginning of summer. Am I this kind of person in your heart? I didn't come back all night, you don't know the reason. You want your idol's signature for your birthday. I stayed up late to queue for you at the signing party door. I waited all night to sign for you. You actually said I went to find Cheng Shouyan. Tears streamed down again in frustration. I also want to ask. I want to ask why Cheng Shouyan is relying on me. Wang Menyuan is so beautiful, they only got it right. Why is it just me? Why? Why does it seem like Cheng Shouyan knows everything about me? Why? I yelled frantically. I'm sorry. Cici, I'm sorry. I heard Wang Menyuan's words for a while. I thought. You think I'm trampling on myself. Everyone can misunderstand me. You can't. I treat you like my best friend. I sniffed. You stay for now. I'll learn something and come to guard you later. After speaking, I left without looking back. Yes. I must figure it out. Who exactly is Cheng Shouyan? In the coffee shop, Cheng Shouyan sat straight, his slender legs stretched out on both sides of the table because they couldn't fit down. Enter the coffee shop and walk straight to the table where Cheng Shouyan is. Sit down and say, speak up. I'm really curious. It seems like you know everything about me like you're in your hands. Get to the point. I really want to know. Who is this person in front of me? It seems. You really don't remember who I am. Xiaoxi. Let me introduce myself again. I'm Fu Huai'an. What? Are you Fu Huai'an? Shocked. There is no more language to describe my current mood. Yes. Long time no see. Xiaoxi. He squinted and laughed. Yes. That's the smile. It's the same as Fu Huai'an in my memory. But why didn't I see it earlier? Cheng Shouyan is Fu Huai'an. It's the person I miss in my heart. So it's you. For a long time. I just spit out these few words. Chapter 6. About Fu Huai'an. You are listening at novelfull.audio. When I was 3 years old, I met Fu Huai'an. He came to our village with his grandmother to visit relatives. The first time I saw him, there was a hint of arrogance on his immature face. It's like looking down on us rural people. So the first time we met, I didn't like him. Later on, he always appeared in my sight and gradually felt that he wasn't that annoying anymore. I started to take out my favorite toys for him to play with, and he also cooperated well with my dolls. Just like this, a summer vacation passed quickly without saying goodbye. We haven't met either. He left our village with his grandmother. Just like he never came before. However, my mother told me, An's grandmother told my mother that they come to summer vacation every year to escape the heat. You will see An again. So, a glimmer of hope grew in my heart. Every year, I look forward to summer coming soon. The next year, just after summer vacation, I ran to the bus stop and waited for him. Finally, I looked forward to him and got off the bus, carrying big and small bags while also holding on to Huai'an's grandmother. Why are you here alone? Where's your mother? Grandma asked anxiously. Huai'an. Let's go play with my doll. My gaze never left Huai'an. What doll are boys playing with? We need to go back to his aunt's house to put things away first. We'll play with you tomorrow, okay? Grandma muttered to herself. Huai'an. Come with me to play with my doll, right? I won't give up. Keep your eyes fixed on Huai'an. Grandma. Then I'll go play with Xiaoxi and come back for lunch. After saying that, Huai'an broke free from Grandma's hand and walked to my side, holding my hand and walking towards my house. I secretly rejoice in my heart. Sure enough, Huai'an still likes to play with me. Later, Huai'an told me, who likes to play with your doll? I just like you. That's it. 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, every year Huai'an arrives as promised, and our relationship is getting better and better. At the age of 10, Huai'an gave me a diamond ring. We made plans with a few friends to have a grand wedding for us. When we got home, we changed into the princess dress my mom bought for me, cut a piece of white mosquito net as a headdress, and brought the princess hair clip my mom bought. Huai'an is wearing his uncle's big coat and suit. Looking at Huai'an in front of me, I couldn't stand up straight with a smile. But Huai'an looked at me with deep affection. You really take a good look. In the past, we didn't understand love. I thought it was just a game we played. And the precocious Huai'an may not think so. When it was time to exchange rings, I took out the grass-woven ring I had woven earlier and put it on Huai'an's clearly boned ring finger. But Huai'an took out a big diamond ring from his oversized suit jacket. At that time, as a young person, I didn't know how valuable that big diamond ring was. I just think it looks good. Gu Nianxi. You must keep this ring well. I will bring another one to exchange in the future. He said extremely seriously. And I also nodded solemnly. The next day, I stood in my yard as usual, waiting for my meal to come and find my Huai'an. But this time I waited from morning to noon, from noon to evening. I couldn't wait for Huai'an either. It was getting dark, and I was running wildly on the country path. The door of Aunt Huai'an's house was tightly closed, and I knocked on it for a long time. At some point, my hand had already been smashed red. When my mom finds me, it's already dark. I curled up under Aunt Huai'an's door. I'm going home. Mom patted my head. Tears never rise in an instant. Duda's tears ran down her cheeks. Mom. There's still a month until the end of summer vacation. Huai'an left. He left without saying anything. I stared at my mom and cried loudly. It's okay. Anan and the others will come again next year. Let's ask Anan why she left without saying goodbye next year. Alright. Let's go home and wash with Mom first. Mom picked me up and walked home. Yeah. Huai'an comes every year. Next year, I will definitely curse him hard and say goodbye without saying goodbye. The next year, as in previous years, I stood at the bus stop waiting. But 1 car, 2 cars. There is no figure of Huai'an. I'm finally starting to panic. Run all the way to Aunt Huai'an's house. Cici, are you coming to find Anan? There's something wrong with Anan's family. He may not come. My aunt saw me running over and spoke first. My mind keeps repeating her sentence, I won't come. Originally, Fu Huai'an's farewell without saying goodbye was a lifetime. Although I already know that Fu Huai'an won't come again, I always come to the platform on time every year to take a look. It seems to have become a habit. Until I was 15 years old and entered high school, I also matured a lot and learned to hide my worries. Hide everything that belongs to Fu Huai'an. The ring was also hidden at the bottom of the box by me, because I always thought it was because of the ring, because Fu Huai'an stole his mother's ring. His mother didn't want him to come to the countryside, so I never dared to look at the ring, and I gave all my complaints to the diamond ring. Entering high school, my parents also saved up to buy a house in the city, so our whole family moved to the city. The houses in the countryside have also been resold, and my parents have opened a snack shop in the city. I also slowly let go of Fu Huai'an during the high-intensity study in high school. I just didn't expect to see you again. Long time no see. So much so that I couldn't even recognize you as Fu Huai'an when I saw you. Long time no see. Cheng Shouyan. I really miss you. Chapter 7. Long time no see, my boy. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. In the coffee shop, my thoughts drifted back a long time ago. I remember everything about Fu Huai'an very clearly. So, why did you leave without saying goodbye? I lowered my head, tears swirling in my eyes. In an extremely low voice, he asked me about my doubts for the past 8 years. Xiaoxi. I'm sorry. I remember when we separated that day, my grandmother had already packed my luggage when we got home. My mother's car was also waiting for me at my aunt's house. I really didn't have time to tell you. Cheng Shouyan took my hand. On the day we pretended to get married, my parents divorced. My father went to be someone else's father. My mother sent someone to pick me up, and my grandmother, we moved out of our original house, and I also transferred to another school. Although we were still in that city, I moved from the east to the west. Since my father abandoned us, my mother never wanted me to run around again, and my grandmother was also seriously ill. I really wanted to go back to the countryside again. Really. But I am still a child. I must listen to my mother. Cheng Shouyan gently released my hand as he spoke. I trembled in my heart and didn't have time to think much. I grabbed his hand with my backhand. Fu Huai'an. No. Cheng Shouyan. Don't let go anymore. Tears can no longer be controlled. Big one smashed down. Hey. Don't cry. I won't let go. I won't let go even if I die. The force in my hand tightened. How did you change your name? I almost didn't recognize you, wiped away the tears from her face. At that time, when my parents divorced, my mother requested to change her surname and said it was Cheng Huai'an. But, I hate it. I hate my dad and don't want him to give me a name. Do you remember our agreement? So I thought I must keep my promise. So I took Cheng Shouyan. His face was sincere. And I accidentally blushed. Our agreement. I have to leave first. Lixia is still waiting for me. I broke free from his hand and prepared to leave. Gu Nianxi. We've missed so many years. I don't want to miss it again. Would you like to be with me? His magnetic voice came from behind. My face has turned red to the neck, and I haven't turned my head back. I'm quite willing. My honor. I ran away. This operation also has no one left. But my little coward can also understand. On the way to the hospital, I never let go of the corners of my mouth. At the door of the Lixia ward, I suddenly felt like I didn't know how to face her. After all, she and Wang Mengyuan were so good. If you knew I was with Cheng Shouyan, would you hate me more? Mind him. Let's not mention this matter for now. Let's wait until she recovers from her illness. Open the door. Go in. Wang Mengyuan and Li Yaoyu are sitting on the sofa. Wang Mengyuan's eyes turned red, and Li Yaoyu lowered his head in silence. What's wrong? Did I go out and the doctor say my condition is serious? I stared at Wan Lixia. What are you saying? Curse me. Wan Lixia also seemed to have eaten ammunition. What's wrong with that? I sat on the small wooden stool. Today. Since everyone is here. Let's just make things clear. First of all, Wang Mengyuan. You have been deliberately approaching me, trying to win me over, but only to isolate Cici. You did it. I was also successfully deceived by you. But now I know the truth. I am not easy to bully, you must apologize to me. And then are you not the school flower? I want you to apologize to Gu Nianxi in public. Wan Lixia stared at Wang Mengyuan and said word by word. Then turn around and look at me. She. I'm sorry. I misunderstood you. I apologize to you. What will happen to you in the future? Even if my sister spares her life, she will take care of you. Can I have a word? I stood up. First of all. Beginning of summer. I don't blame you. So you don't have to be ambitious. Secondly. Wang Mengyuan. Even if you fabricate things about me to everyone, I don't need you to apologize. Because what I'm going to say next will make you feel heartbroken. Listen carefully. Wang Mengyuan. Even though you are more beautiful than me, what if you are more talented than me? Cheng Shouyan is mine. I am already with Cheng Shouyan. I stared at Wang Mengyuan intently. At this moment, I finally breathed a sigh of relief. What? 3 different voices roared out together. Gu Nianxi. What are you talking about in your dreams? How could Cheng Shouyan be with you? Wang Mengyuan looked crimson. Then you go ask him yourself. I turned around and sat on Lixia's bed, looking at Lixia, who was even more surprised than Wang Mengyuan. Ask, then ask. Wang Mengyuan snatched the door away. Wait. I'll go see her. After speaking, Li Yaoyu also chased after her. There's only me and Lixia left in the room. Sitting on the sofa, take out a fruit knife and peel apples. Put away your surprise. It made me lose confidence. No. You're really together. Lixia took the apple one-handed over. Really? It's a long story, are you interested in listening to it? I threw an eyebrow at her. Listen and listen. Speak up quickly. So I told Wan Lixia the story of me and Cheng Shouyan in detail. So bloody. Can you still encounter it? Lixia took a bite of the apple and said disdainfully. Are you calling such a romantic thing dog blood? I almost choked. Then give him a call and ask him to come. I have to thank him personally. Ah. I haven't had a chance to get in touch yet. Ha ha ha. Something like what you can do. Lixia laughed wildly. I also laughed. It seems like we have never distanced ourselves. That's great. During my hospitalization at the beginning of summer, I always used various excuses to refuse to see Cheng Shouyan. I'm back to the shy state I used to be. Lixia often hates me for being weak and blames me for being useless. But I just can't muster the courage to meet him. I don't think you're in a relationship. Are you in an online relationship? Laughing every day while holding onto a mobile phone. But never seeing anyone else. What a weirdo. Lixia muttered once again, feeling resentful and helpless. I'm really ashamed. My face has turned red to the bottom of my ears. Sister. What haven't you done yet? You're so shy. Lixia rolled her eyes at me with a big smile. Sister, please show mercy and create a chance for you two to meet. You can post. Lixia is discharged today, there are too many things. Can you come and work as a laborer? I sent a message to Cheng Shouyan according to Li Xia's words, and soon received a reply. The short 4 words made me blush again. My honor. After receiving the news that Cheng Shouyan was sure to come, I began to feel restless. I would go to the bathroom to tidy up my appearance, and then ask Li Xia, who was brushing her phone nearby, is it okay for me to do this today? However, what I received was Li Xia's white eyes, you're really enough. Don't worry. They definitely don't like your face. I didn't want to worry about her anymore, so I used a lipstick to make up for it. I'm coming in. A familiar magnetic voice sounded outside the door. My heart reaches my throat. Hurriedly replied, come in. Cheng Shouyan is wearing a sky blue short-sleeved shirt, black shorts, and a pair of white sneakers today. Although this combination is particularly simple, it still cannot conceal his perfect figure and peerless appearance. That. Cheng Shouyan, please. I've been hospitalized for so long, and I have something else to deal with. Could you please bring my things back to the dormitory with Cici? After finishing, Li Xia blinked at me, picked up the bag on the table, and walked outside the door. As soon as I finished saying, I scratched my head at a loss and said, I dressed pretty well today. I wished I could find a hole to burrow in. What is this opening statement? Oh my goodness, take me. You too. Cheng Shouyan bent down to pick up his luggage on the ground and stood up. Let's go. I called a car, don't make others wait too long. He turned around and walked out of the hospital room. Did the smile on his lips just now mock me? Or rather a mockery? Take the suitcase next to me and follow up. In the car, the driver quietly gazed ahead, while Cheng Shouyan quietly stared at his phone. I silently thought about his smile just now. By the way, Cici, do you have any plans for your birthday the day after tomorrow? He didn't even look up and asked me. What? I didn't laugh, I blurted out. Huai'an, the driver and Cheng Shouyan laughed together. My face turned red with lightning speed, and I felt like I was almost burning. What are you nervous about? Cheng Shouyan stared at me, causing me to panic. However, I still spoke out my thoughts. Fu, Cheng Shouyan. After so many years, we have all changed. Whether it's our personality or appearance, our appearance is obvious. You have grown into an impeccable person, while I have grown into an apologetic person. We are not familiar with this kind of personality both internally and externally. Do you think you will still like me? I said as my head lowered, and the spot in my eyes grew larger and larger. She, first. I like you calling me an. Second. No matter what you look like, I like it. Of course, I don't know if you will like me. He lifted my face and looked straight into my eyes. Slowly, his eyes grew larger and his breathing became closer. He had a faint cedar smell on his body. I'm so nervous that I can't even move. I want to step back, but I feel like there's a force pushing me. As I was about to close my eyes, a powerful force pushed me forward. You're in a hurry to get reincarnated. The driver stretched out his head and shouted, then turned to us and said, sorry, you guys keep going. Then he started the car and continued on the road. I lowered my head and stared at Cheng Shouyan, only to find that he was also looking at me. I couldn't help but chuckle, and in the end, it turned into me laughing together. I suddenly feel like the distance between us has shortened a bit, as if we can really go back to before the age of 10, as if he hasn't changed, and I haven't changed either. We should be fine. We can definitely be fine. Chapter 8. The appearance of Youqi. You are listening at novelfull.audio. My whole freshman life was full and happy. Every day when there were classes, I would run around with Cheng Shouyan in various classrooms. When there were no classes, we would watch movies, eat delicious food, and buy nice clothes together. This is not the first time Li Xia has scolded me for being indecisive. Wherever there is Cheng Shouyan, there will always be me looking forward to she. Cece, today you can be merciful and accompany me to buy some clothes. In this cold weather, I'm still wearing a hoodie. If I don't put in some clothes, I won't be able to survive this winter. Ruan Lixia leaned her head against my bed and looked at me pitifully. But I have a class today. Although I actually want to go to class more. Touched Ruan Lixia's head, packed the blanket and prepared to get out of bed. You can skip class. Ruan Lixia muttered, that's right. People in love, even in class, feel that the air in the classroom is sweet. TSK. Ruan Lixia turned around and carried her backpack. Looking at her unhappy face, it's been a long time since we played together. Alright. I'll make a phone call and go shopping with you later, he said, taking out his phone and dialing the phone. It only rang twice before being answered. Cece, what's wrong? A familiar voice rang out. Anan, I'm sorry. Today, Lixia wants me to accompany her shopping. Can you help me sign it? She said, staring at Ruan Lixia, who was staring at me with a pair of hopeful big eyes beside her. I was just about to tell you that I also have something I can't go to today, so it's just right. Don't worry. I asked someone to sign for us, and I have something else to do, so I'll hang up first. The busy tone suddenly sounded, and he never hung up on my phone first, nor did he miss any class. Suddenly, his heart missed a beat. Oh, stop thinking. Aren't you also not going to class? Everyone has their own problems, and your life is not just about Cheng Shouyan. There are also many people with many things to do. Don't think recklessly. Ruan Lixia pushed me into the bathroom. Hurry up and wash, let's go clean up. Perhaps I thought too much. In the mall, Ruan Lixia wandered from store to store, but she didn't have any loot in her hand. The good-looking ones felt too expensive, while the cheap ones didn't look good. Finally, I entered a cost-effective store and had already changed into a few pieces of clothing. As I watched the waiter's increasingly gloomy face, I couldn't stand it anymore. Lixia, this one and this one look really nice. This short down jacket can show off your perfect leg shape, and this coat highlights your temperament and good figure. I temporarily acted as a salesperson, and the nearby salesperson looked at me with grateful eyes. Really? I think this coat is too long, and the color of this short down jacket doesn't suit me. She compared it in front of the mirror. Isn't the coat all that long? And the phone rang in time before she could finish speaking. I'll take a call, these two are really good. Pointing to the two clothes in Lixia's hand, she turned around and walked out of the store. Hello. Anan, are you finished with your work? I have to wait for a while. Lixia, this woman, has a dilemma. She. I'm going abroad. Cheng Shouyan's voice was so low that I thought I heard it wrong. Before I could react, the other end of the phone said, She, are you willing to go abroad with me? It was even more frustrating. Don't joke. Why are you going abroad? Forced to calm down, where are you? I'll find you. As he spoke, he walked towards the mall exit. Wait for me on the school playground. I'll come find you. Cheng Shouyan said and hung up. I stared at my phone for a moment, and hung up on my phone for the second time today. I called a taxi and ran back to school, my mind was blank. Before reaching the playground, I saw the familiar figure, firm and straight, suddenly with lead on his feet and unable to move a step. Then the sturdy figure walked towards me. She, what's wrong? He lifted his head and wiped my cheeks, and I suddenly realized that my cheeks were already filled with tears. Reaching out and wiping away the tears from her cheeks, she lifted her head to force herself to calm down. Anan, what's going on? Why are you suddenly going abroad? She gave a smile that was even uglier than crying. My father passed away, and I am his only son. I have to inherit his company, but it doesn't match my current major. My aunt wants me to study abroad faster. He said lightly, feeling like he was talking about other people's family matters. So, Cece, are you willing to accompany me abroad? 2 years. Just 2 years. His expected gaze fell on my face, and suddenly I panicked. But Anan, I have no choice. My current major is what I like, and everything is just right now. My parents don't allow it either. Before he could finish speaking, Cheng Shouyan interrupted, I understand, so are you willing to wait for me? His eyes were full of anticipation. I tightened my tightly clasped hands and said, okay. I'm waiting for you. I looked up at him and wanted him to see the firmness in my eyes. His face gradually enlarged in my eyes, the familiar cedar scent gradually became clear, and then a soft touch fell on his lips. As he was about to withdraw, his waist tightened and Cheng Shouyan deepened the kiss. The air suddenly became thin, and his face turned red. Cheng Shouyan then left with his forehead touching my forehead and affectionately saying, wait for me. Definitely. I love you more than you imagine. His cheeks turned red again, and he lowered his eyes and replied, I love you too, Anan. So Cheng Shouyan left. I also returned to my normal life. I occasionally talked to Cheng Shouyan on the phone kanji. I had lunch at noon and he called me in the middle of the night. In my junior year, I came to school early and made plans to pick up new students with Wan Lixia and Li Yaoyu. I was the only one in the dormitory who came early and had nothing to do, so I cleaned up. After a summer vacation, I wasn't there, and the dust had already piled up. Just as I was about to finish cleaning, the dormitory door was pushed open. Ah! I exclaimed in surprise. Is this black, straight, beige short-sleeved denim camisole in front of me still the Wan Lixia I know? Have you changed gender? I widened my eyes in shock. Oh! Don't make such a fuss. It's not my junior year, and we are here to pick up the new students. 2 years younger than us. I can't admit defeat, and maybe I can make a brother-boyfriend. Think about Dume. She put down her suitcase and came to pull me. Just 2 steps later, she stopped and stared at me and said, well, it's just 11 o'clock now. Your family Cheng promised to talk to you on the phone kanji, and then go on. I'm sacrificing for you. She turned and sat down. It's okay, we haven't called for a long time. He seems very busy. I lowered my eyes and hid the disappointment in my eyes. This is not going to work. You're stupid. You didn't contact him proactively, in case. She suddenly stopped and said, forget it, let's go. Go pick up the new students, I don't want to. She pulled me out of the dormitory, and I understood what she was trying to say, of course, that's also what I was worried about. Yesterday when I was preparing to go back to school, I called him and answered without a second sound. Hello, Anna. I'll be back to school tomorrow. It's been almost 2 years now, and you're almost back, I said excitedly. After a few seconds of silence over there, a gentle and pleasant female voice came out, hello. Shouyan is currently outside without a phone. Is there anything important? I can help you convey it. I have forgotten how to answer and hang up. Anyway, I didn't dare to call again, and of course, Cheng Shouyan's phone never came back. I comforted myself, maybe it was just a classmate who helped me answer the phone. I kept this matter hidden in my heart and didn't tell anyone. The entrance of Yanqing University is crowded with people, including both new and old students. There are countless old students helping new students with their luggage. Suddenly, Lixia pulled me towards the door and said, damn it, handsome guy. Let's go. She spat out this sentence. In the blink of an eye, he came to a new student who was quite good looking. He was about 180 meters tall, with a smooth and fair face and a sharp and cold handsome appearance, dark and profound eyes, exuding a charming hue, thick eyebrows, a tall nose, and a stunning lip shape make him a typical handsome guy. Hello. Are you a new student? I'm Wan Lixia from junior high school, and this is Gun Yanxi from junior high school. Your name is? Wan Lixia stared at the boy across from her. Huai'an. His voice was deep. Wan Lixia cleverly picked up his luggage and took him to report for duty. I followed them when suddenly my phone rang and I looked at the name on the screen, hesitating whether to answer it. Wan Lixia leaned in and said, Cheng Shouyan. Pick it up. Ask him directly. You need to show the aura of a real girlfriend. A hint of unclear emotion flashed in Huai'an's eyes beside me. Hello. Connect the phone. She. What are you doing? The person on the other end of the phone seemed to be asking me as if nothing had happened. Accompanying Lixia to pick up the new students. I looked down at my toes, and you? Did you go back to school? The other end paused for a moment. So early. I called you yesterday and said, but. I didn't intend to continue, feeling a bit scared. I was afraid that if I poked through us, it would be over. Yesterday. No. There's no call record either. He seems really unaware, and I don't need to worry anymore. It's okay, maybe I got it wrong. Then I'll go get busy first. You're going to bed soon, it's already late. Take care of yourself. Good night. Without waiting for him to reply, he hung up the phone, wiped away the tears in his eyes, and turned to look for Wan Lixia. They were both staring at me. Let's go. Send my junior to the dormitory. I walked towards the boys' dormitory with Lixia's arm in my arms. It was already past 5 p.m. after finishing his work, and Huai'an said, let's go. To thank you, I'll treat you to dinner. His eyes never left my face while he spoke. Extremely uncomfortable, I wanted to refuse, but Wan Lixia agreed directly. I thought I was going to eat something casually in the school cafeteria, but Huai'an led the way straight to the school gate. Wan Lixia and I were speechless, and since we agreed, we had to follow outside. After leaving the school gate, Huai'an turned right and was already sitting in a Bentley. I stared at Wan Lixia, and she was so shocked that her chin dropped. Glancing at Huai'an sitting in the back seat, there was another challenge. We had to have someone sit next to him. Since I have a boyfriend, I gave this honor to Wan Lixia. The car was surprisingly quiet, and the noise Wan Lixia had just made disappeared. In no time, the car stopped at the entrance of a hotel, and we followed behind Huai'an. As soon as we entered the door, the waiters all bowed to Huai'an and said, hello young master. Wan Lixia and I have dropped our chins again. Entering a private room, Huai'an didn't ask us what to eat and just told the waiter the same thing. They just called you, young master, Wan Lixia said in a chat. Well, this hotel belongs to our family, he said as he turned to look at me. Do you care about she? I nodded and stared at him. Enter your phone number. After he finished speaking, he handed me his phone and I was stunned. No answer. Oh my. Well, we have a boyfriend in CC, her boyfriend is abroad, explained Wan Lixia. I know. Is there any connection between this? Huai'an didn't retract his hand, revealing a persistent expression. I can use it in the future. I don't mean anything else. You don't have to be afraid, he said to me. At this point, I'm too embarrassed to refuse again. Quickly input and return it to him. Wan Lixia was about to reach out for her phone, but Huai'an withdrew it. Lixia's face instantly turned black. This meal was tasteless. There were no other incidents afterwards. Huai'an instructed his driver to take us back to school and then drive away by himself. Cici, he won't like you, will he? Are you so charming? No, didn't he also explain? I have no bottom in my heart, but this is the only way to comfort myself. Chapter 9. Confession. You are listening at novelfull.audio. In the new semester, I have an extra Huai'an by my side. He joined my club and successfully became the president with his charm. Therefore, he always calls me and instructs me to do something with him when there is something to do. At first, I didn't want to, but later on, I realized that every time he just does something and nothing else happens, so I don't take it to heart. The sound of ding-dong text messages rang out, and Li Yaoyu, who was originally eating potato chips and watching a drama in bed, poked his head out and stared at me. "It's not that handsome guy again, is it? I'm sweating for Cheng Shouyan." After finishing speaking, he put it away and continued watching the drama. I ignored her and took out my phone. "Today's club gathering, I'll pick you up at 7 p.m. and attend on time. From Youqi." I thought for a moment, but I called Cheng Shouyan but didn't answer. Maybe something happened, so I didn't care. Never mind, it's okay anyway, just accept it. At 6 o'clock in the afternoon, Wan Lixia returned dusty and said, "Are you hungry? Come and eat." He put down his boxed lunch and took off his coat. "You kid, have you been having problems lately? Why haven't you seen anyone at any time?" Sitting down to look at the food, he thought he wouldn't use his chopsticks until the party later. Wan Lixia blushed and said, "Where is there? You've been overthinking it. Why is such a foodie not using chopsticks? I'll wait for the club gathering. I won't eat any more. Cheng Shouyan is coming back soon. I need to control my diet, being too fat is not good. Cheng Shouyan is really scared when he comes back. You've changed a lot, okay? You can be considered a beauty now." Wan Lixia pointed at my face with her fingers. "Tsk tisk, you've turned white. You look so beautiful with this makeup. Come on, you. I'll leave first, you eat slowly." After speaking, he turned around and left, his face hurting from the winter wind. Reached out and gathered the scarf around his neck. Suddenly, my head sank and a hat landed on my head without any bias. A pair of big hands fell on my shoulders, and I was surprised. "Stubborn all over, unable to. Slowly lift your head, frowning between your eyebrows. You scared me to death. Take a step back. What is Gu Nianxi thinking?" Huai'an withdrew his hand from my shoulder, and there was no emotion on his face. "No, this hat." I reached out and touched the hat. "Oh, this is what I saw while shopping before, and I think it suits you very well. Let's go. We're going to be late." Huai'an stepped out first. The Bentley parked outside the door without any accidents. "Uncle Yang, you can go back first. I'll drive it myself," Huai'an said to his driver. "Okay, young master." Uncle Yang got out of the car and took a taxi, flying away. "Get in the car." Huai'an walked up to the co-pilot and opened the door, making a gesture of invitation. In less than 10 minutes, I arrived at the Conan Hotel and joked, "Master Hua, are you not afraid of losing money by patronizing your own hotel every day like this?" "Not afraid, you can't eat me down." His tone was somewhat ambiguous. Before he could react, he lifted his step and walked inside, as if it had been an illusion just now. The party came to an end soon, and I wanted to go back with Wang Yang from the same club, but Huai'an stood in front and said, "Let me see you off. You're drinking. I'll be with Wang Yang." After speaking, I was ready to go out. I don't know why, although Huai'an didn't say anything, I always felt uncomfortable being with him, and I always felt a bit sorry for Cheng Shouyan. "Then let's go together, Wang Yang. Do you mind?" Huai'an stared at Wang Yang. "Of course, my honor." Wang Yang's flower enthusiast had already put it on his face. In the Bentley car, Wang Yang is sitting in the front row, and Huai'an and I are sitting in the back seat. The air was surprisingly quiet, and no one spoke. Arriving at the dormitory door, Wang Yang briskly walked back to the dormitory, ready to thank Huai'an. As a result, he rubbed his hand on my head and said, "Did you react too late and become a bit dull? Look, everyone can see it, except for you. This posture was too ambiguous, and I took a step back to widen the distance. What do you mean? I stared at him, my hand hidden in the sleeve of my coat unconsciously clenched into a fist. He suddenly leaned down, his face enlarged in front of me, and I panicked. It's getting late, I'll go up first. After saying that, I ran away. What I didn't see was a person sitting in a nearby Maybach with a face as black as freezing, but it didn't affect his delicate features at all. Seeing me go up, he opened the door, took a long step, and quickly walked up to Youqi. Can you give me an explanation? Brother. Cheng Shouyan spoke slowly, not hard to hear the anger in his tone. Isn't this Fu? No, should it be Brother Cheng now? Youqi held his hands on his chest, not afraid at all. Ha! Let's talk about it. What's going on? Cheng Shouyan's tone showed impatience. The driver next to him was so scared that he broke out in a cold sweat. The Cheng Shouyan in front of him was not the same as before. His transformation abroad was completely beyond human endurance. What's going on? Xiaoxi. I'm chasing her. What? My cousin is also interested. Youqi also became a little cold. You'd better put away your insignificant liking. I don't want to see your shadow by Gu Nianxi's side anymore. Cheng Shouyan turned around and got into the car, disappearing from Youqi's sight in the blink of an eye, leaving the driver stunned in place. Ha! It's really getting more and more interesting. Huai'an snorted coldly. I got in the car and left. In the girls' dormitory, I dragged my dazed brain back to the dormitory and said, "Are you back?" We were still saying that we should also have a party tomorrow in the dormitory. It's been a long time since we last had dinner, and we'll have to go out for an internship next year, so we'll have fewer opportunities to meet. What do you think? Lixia rubbed her freshly washed hair. All right. It's okay. I replied, if Juan Lixia finds out about this, she will have to be dragged to copy the female character. I took out my phone and found out that it had turned off at some point. Charge up, wash up, lie in bed and go to sleep. The next day, it was strange that the alarm didn't ring. I took out my phone and realized that it had been charged but not turned on yesterday. After booting up, a series of messages and missed calls popped up. It scared me. 13 missed calls, all of them were from Cheng Shouyan. I took a look and it's past 3 p.m. now. It should be midnight on his end. Never mind, I'll call back tomorrow morning. Turning to the text message, Gu Nianxi, you idiot. What I want to say is, I like you, be my girlfriend. From Youqi. Last night after 12 o'clock. I stood up for a moment, my phone was thrown out. Coincidentally, Li Yaoyu returned and picked up the phone that I had thrown out and handed it to me. Did you see the ghost in broad daylight? She said and placed a lunch box on my table. You finally woke up, hurry up and eat. I've already finished class. I'm not in the mood to eat, so I opened WeChat again. Ah. I threw my phone out again. Li Yaoyu looked at me with a crazy expression, then timidly squatted down to pick up his phone and read the content on it. Cici, I'm back. I'll find you later tonight. From Cheng Shouyan. Oh, my boyfriend is back, no wonder. I thought I really hit a ghost in broad daylight, he said and handed me his phone. I turned to look at Li Yaoyu and said, Yaoyu, did Cheng Shouyan come yesterday? No, I was there all day yesterday. What's wrong? Li Yaoyu sat back in his seat. No, maybe I didn't come to find me because I didn't answer my phone. I comforted myself and hesitated whether to call back, but what if he knew I was going out to eat with another guy, would he? Ding ding ding, the phone rang, and Cheng Shouyan took a deep breath before pressing the answer button. Hello. Ann. Are you back? She. Why didn't you answer the phone yesterday? He came straight to the point. The club building, went out to eat, my phone ran out of battery. I prayed to myself that he had never come. Okay. Then I'll come pick you up later and let's go eat, he tentatively asked me. Sure. I hung up the phone, feeling relieved to myself. Fortunately. Later, I was worried about what to wear. It was the first time I saw him after 2 years, and finally I decided to wear a beige long dress. I talked about a light yellow long down jacket and a pair of long boots. I took out my makeup and put it on. We made an appointment at the school gate, the cold wind blowing on us, but our hearts were surprisingly warm. In no time, a Maybach parked in front of me, and a man in a suit and a woolen coat got off the car. Cece, get in the car. He pulled me into the car. I was stunned. This change is not ordinary. I just came over from the company, so I didn't change clothes. How's it going? I'm not used to it, right? His smile was as warm as before, but he felt like there was always something different. Anan, you've changed so much. I said from my heart. He squinted his eyes and said, you too. The driver in the front row was so surprised that his mouth opened wide. It's been so long, the first time I've heard the young master say so much, the first time I've heard him speak in such a gentle tone. In just a few minutes, we arrived at the place, Huai'an apartment. Cece, I found the closest apartment to the school to take a look. He took my hand and walked towards the community. I didn't understand his meaning, but looking at the person in front of him, he shed his youthfulness and added a lot of coldness, many of which were not mature at his age. I actually feel a little heartbroken in my heart. The apartment has 3 bedrooms and 1 living room, not too big, but very cozy. It has everything inside, and the refrigerator is also full of food. How is it? Cheng Shouyan hugged me from behind, and I blushed with embarrassment, but I didn't understand his meaning. Not bad. It's quite warm. This is yours. Our future home. He buried his face in my neck, breathing heavily on me, and couldn't help but soften his body. He picked me up and placed me on the sofa, and I sat on his lap. Okay, he asked me. I think the dormitory is pretty good. And my family education is quite strict, and my parents' education is also very conservative, so. Do you love me? He asked again. Love. I answered softly. That's enough. Before I could answer, his lips accurately touched mine. The familiar cedar flavor was reassuring. He deepened the kiss, his right hand restlessly caressing my waist. Gradually, I was laid down on the sofa by him, my consciousness gradually blurring. The sudden pain startled me, and I instinctively stepped back. Don't be afraid. Relax, he whispered in my ear. His tone is hoarse. After a tumultuous meal, I collapsed and leaned against Cheng Shouyan. Cece, let's get married. I looked into Cheng Shouyan's eyes, there was no joking element at all. Suddenly feeling a little flustered. But I haven't even graduated from college yet. It's okay, you're already of marriageable age. What's wrong? Are you unwilling? Cheng Shouyan rubbed my face. The tobacco smell between the fingers is a bit strong. Twisted my eyebrows. When did you learn to smoke? I can understand that you're shifting the topic. Cheng Shouyan chuckled. A lot has happened in the past 2 years, so. If you don't like me, I can quit. He needs to manage the company at such a young age, which should be quite tiring. It's okay, no need, but it's not good for his health to smoke less. So, Gu Nianxi, are you willing to marry me? Cheng Shouyan took out a diamond ring, much larger than what he gave me when he was a child. I said I would exchange it for a bigger ring. So are you willing? I was a bit dazed staring at the ring. The last time I received the ring, he lost contact. This time. What's wrong? It's okay. I'm willing. I reached out and he slowly put the ring on me. Then he took out another ring from the drawer and handed it to me. There was a string of numbers inside the ring called 950,728, my birthday. At this moment, it feels like the air is sweet. Chapter 10. Cruel Experience. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Engagement, marriage, Cheng Shouyan gave me a dreamy ceremony. Fortunately, during this period, Youqi seemed to have evaporated from the human world. You haven't contacted me again. After getting married, Cheng Shouyan took me into the Fu family's old house to live in. It was in the suburbs of Yaocheng, with a 3-story mansion in the middle and several 2-story villas next to each other. Just entering the old house, I was so shocked that my chin dropped. I knew Cheng Shouyan's family was wealthy in running a company, but I didn't expect them to be so wealthy. Young master and young lady, welcome home. The servants stood on both sides. I bow back one by one, I'm really sorry. Where's the master? Cheng Shouyan said. I was shocked to drop my chin again. Master. Didn't Cheng Shouyan say his father passed away? In the study of the second academy. The master said that since the young master is married, the current main house will be vacated for you and the young lady to live in, said an older-looking woman on the left side. Young mama, take Madame Xiao to the bedroom to rest, and I'll go back as soon as I go. Cheng Shouyan handed the luggage in his hand to the woman, turned his head to touch my hair, and whispered, Cece, you go upstairs first, I'll be back soon. Okay. I put aside my doubts in my heart. Nodding at him. Madame Xiao, please. The young mother made a gesture of invitation. I followed her upstairs and found the innermost room on the second floor. The decoration inside was very retro and matched well with the overall decoration of this old house. Madam, this was specially renovated by someone after the master moved out, and all the furniture is new, explained young mama. Got it, thank you. I turned around and smiled at young mama. Then I'll go down first. If you have any instructions, you can call me or anyone else. Young mama said and closed the door before leaving. I have never been exposed to the life of a wealthy person before. Everything is very curious. This bedroom is actually bigger than my house. Walking 2 laps is tiring. Why? Do you still like it? This decoration was done by butler Zhou. He's older and his favorite things are also quite mature. Cheng Shouyan hugged me from behind, his neck itchy. I like it. I turned around and put a wristband around his neck, staring at him. What's wrong with the master? Didn't he? He is my father. Cheng Shouyan hugged me and sat on the bed. Before I went abroad, the butler Zhou found me and said that my father was seriously ill for only a few days. Let me go see him. But I hate him. He abandoned me and my mother and found a young woman who had a son over 2 years old. He went to be someone else's husband and father. It was also because he was angry that my grandmother died of a serious illness. I can never forgive him. I can clearly see the anger in his eyes. I didn't go, I said when I died, come find me again, maybe I can go see him. But a few days later, the butler Zhou approached me again and said that my father passed away. Oh, it's already buried. I couldn't describe the feeling at that time. Steward Zhou said he helped me find a racing class abroad and sent me to train. I need to return to my home country in 2 years, and during this period, my aunt will take over the management. I went home and discussed with my mother, and she said, this belongs to you, and he has some conscience. He didn't give the inheritance to that man. So I went. He paused for a moment, and I hugged him. He looked at me, his eyes were a bit crystal clear. Who knew, when I went abroad, the first person I saw was him. He stood tall and asked his subordinates to tie me up. I couldn't run away, so I had to go back with him. After going back, he invited many Sanda champions, Taekwondo champions to fight against me, and I couldn't even learn it. I was knocked out several times, so he used cold water to wake me up and continue. Then he studied finance, management, and everything. If he couldn't do it, he would be locked in the basement. There was everything in the basement, mice, cockroaches, but no food. I was hungry for 3 days and 3 nights, and he let me out. The first sentence he said, "Can you?" "No, keep closing." The crystal clear has been replaced with anger, and the crimson eyes seem to be bleeding. All right. I don't want to say anything anymore. It's all over, it's all over. I patted his back, tears streaming down my face as if it's not worth it. I can't imagine him insisting on calling me in that situation, and I can't hear anything unusual. His hand held mine and placed it on his waist. I clearly felt many insect-like protrusions and quickly lifted his clothes. The caterpillar-like scars covered his right waist. It took me so long to realize that I was staring at him with wide eyes. He handed me his knife and asked me to stab some people I didn't know. I didn't take action, so he stabbed me in the waist one by one with his knife. In the end. As he spoke, tears welled up in his eyes. I was suddenly at a loss and hurriedly wiped his face. Stop talking, I know. I knew what had happened in the end. If he didn't take action, his father would have stabbed him to death, so he had no choice. I'm afraid, even in my dreams, but I have to hold back the nausea in my heart. I have no other choice. He suddenly grabbed my hand and stared at me affectionately. My hands are covered in blood now. Do you still love me? I nodded and hugged him tightly. It's not your fault. I love you. I want you to love me forever. He held my head with both hands and covered his lips. The rude kiss made me almost suffocate. Then he pulled off my dress with one hand and kissed me all the way, without any tenderness. The pain made me cry, but I didn't stop him. I don't know why, maybe I think his venting can make him feel a little more comfortable. The next noon, my whole body was sore. I touched my right hand and there was no one around. I sat up, put on a new dress, and walked out. Cheng Shouyan sat on the sofa and made a phone call. He saw me go over and hang up the phone. How are you? Are you feeling unwell? I blushed instantly on my face and said, No, I'm actually hungry. Almost ready to eat. He turned around and said, Young Ma. Is the food ready? All right. Young master, should we still give a gift to the master? Please come over for dinner, sir. Cheng Shouyan shook my hand. Yes. Madam too. Young Mama continued to ask. Together, Cheng Shouyan pulled me towards the dining table. Just sit down and pick up a lot of dishes for me. You eat first. It's okay, wait. In no time, a man came in a wheelchair. The man has white hair all over his head, his expression is flustered, and the woman pushing him is also particularly haggard. I can't tell it's Cheng Shouyan's father at all, it's not an exaggeration to say he's a grandfather. Huai'an. The man spoke and turned to look at me. Are you Cici, right? The man grinned, yes. Uncle really doesn't know how to address him, and knowing how he treated Cheng Shouyan before, I have no good feelings for him either. Are you still called uncle after getting married? The man joked. All right, come and sit down. Have a meal. Cheng Shouyan interrupted the conversation. The woman pushed the man over and sat down, eating the whole meal. No one said a word, completely adhering to the principle of not saying a word. After finishing the meal, the woman pushed the man out. I touched Cheng Shouyan's hand and felt a piercing cold. Anan, if you don't want to eat with uncle in the future, we won't eat. I stared at him. Cheng Shouyan held my hand in reverse and said, My new wife is going through the door, or are you going to see her for a walk? Cheng Shouyan pulled me out of the Fu family's old house. In the evening, as the sea breeze blew and I felt cool, my stomach suddenly turned upside down and I said, ouch. What's wrong? Cheng Shouyan furrowed his eyebrows slightly, go home. Then hold me and walk towards the direction of Fu's old house. Young Mama was startled by the battle. Young master. What's wrong? Call Dr. Liao. Cheng Shouyan left this sentence and went upstairs. No need, I should have eaten too much and gone out with the cold wind. I feel a bit nauseous. I stared at Cheng Shouyan's slightly nervous face, feeling warm in my heart. Cheng Shouyan remained silent and placed me on the bed, then turned around and poured a glass of water. In no time, Dr. Liao arrived and said, President. Well, show her, she suddenly vomited just now. Dr. Liao listened with a stethoscope and then touched my hand to feel my pulse. Madam, when was your last menstrual period? Ah. I panicked, last month, it seemed like I didn't come last month. Congratulations to the CEO, Madam Xiao is pregnant. Go to the hospital for another check. Up as soon as possible. Dr. Liao put away his things, nodded at Cheng Shouyan, and left. I stared at Cheng Shouyan with no expression on my face, but shouldn't I be very happy at this moment?